I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
All right. We back. Down to the wire, week 3. I took a week off, but we're back with Lee and Sebastian. How y'all feeling?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm 2-0 in both my leagues. I'm still alive in my survivor pool. It's up right now. My Giants suck, but that's not new. That's not new.
Okay.
I was about to say, started off the week good. The Jets got a win on Thursday, dominated the Pats. Been waiting for that for like 20 years, so feeling good.
Okay. Everybody on a high.
I'm sure you're not, but that's cool.
I mean, I'm still 1-1. I'm not too upset, but we ended last week on a low. But it's a new week. But let's hop into it real quick. Let's go to the league, man. Let's go to the league. Let's check out how we're doing. So, like you said, 2-0. 2-0 to start out. Last week, it looked like we got 14-point win. So we all right.
Yeah, man. Something light.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
The team's looking. Thank God. We had a few trade requests for Bijan, but we didn't fold. We stayed strong.
Yeah, that was crazy. Props for not going through with the trade. Someone offered. Yeah, for those listening, someone offered. What was it? CMC for Bijan straight up.
Yeah, we had 2 CMC offers in back-to-back weeks.
This was before he got hurt.
I mean, he's been hurt. So
that is true. Yeah.
There was one that was week 1 though, right? It was like
it was before the season even started. It was like before Trent Williams signed. I think that was his reasoning for why he even offered it up. And I was like, you're kind of wilding, but whatever. But shout out to Bijan, bro. He got to reach that end zone for me. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I still got faith in the Falcons. I'm waiting for it. That explosion is coming.
Bro, they said he's on pace for like 2,000 like all-purpose yards and 0 touchdowns.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Nuts. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good so far. I mean, I think that Aaron Jones pickup has been solid so far. Like wasn't the sexiest.
Sexy pick, yeah.
It got the job done. Smith and Nigba, like he came on last week. He got a lot of targets. If Kelsey can hit his stride, then we should be okay.
we got a trade request right now.
Right now.
Live,
but
it's trash. So.
Oh, it's trash.
It's trash. Hey. It be trolling, man.
Listen,
I feel like now is when trade talks really kick up. You got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks of data. People overreacting. People don't want to wait.
Yeah.
You got to pounce.
Yeah.
Listen, and we got my boy $1, man.
Hey, man, he was high. He reached pay dirt.
Wasn't he like top 3 in targets after week 1?
He was.
That week 1, he got.
I'm trying to tell you,
he didn't do nothing with targets.
He scored week 2, bro. He scored in week 2. I try to tell you, the Giants they play that short game. We can't go down the field for real. But Wanda will get some touches. He'll get some love in the short yard.
Okay. So far so good. So we're doing good on that. I mean, and we got to switch over to our season-long watch. So I'm going to pull this up. We got Devontae and Marvin Harrison Jr.
That was a good. We had a good debate on that.
So first of all,
it's pretty even right now.
I want Lee to address the stream and tell everybody what he did in our league.
All right, so I don't know if anyone saw the preseason show, but we had a pretty good argument. Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, who would you take? I was pretty firmly on taking Devontae Adams. My reasoning being take the safer pick. I wasn't really sure on Harrison. He was worth the price. Long story short, in our keeper league, I had the choice, Devontae Adams or Marvin Harrison. And I took Marvin Harrison. I went for the upside pick. But disclaimer, it's a keeper league, so I had Puka as my keeper. So Puka was technically my wide receiver 1, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the home run swing.
And 2, Lee, this is how you do me, bruh.
Yeah.
This is how you do me, bruh.
Hey, man.
Come on.
It was all about the cost. It was all about the cost.
It was 10 toes, bro. 10 toes.
Puka got hurt, so it didn't make it even better, but...
Is when it really got to it. Really, situation got tense. It got hot. He went with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, listen. Shout out to the Rook. You know what I mean? He had a great game. He only ended up with like 4 receptions though. I thought he was gonna.
Yeah.
I thought he was about to put up like a 40-pointer or something.
Yeah.
Because it was early. He had 2 touchdowns early. He ended up with 4 receptions. Somebody hit a parlay on the under 5 receptions for him. I know he was shook.
Yeah.
But man, I mean he was very productive. So I can't take that away from him. Devontae had a great day as well. He scored late, but. The Rook took that week. I'll give him that. He took that week.
I mean, so we can kind of let's see. Can I go through it? Yeah. So week 1, what was it? Since we didn't do it,
it's pretty even. Yeah. So you got the stats up now.
Well, week 1 is heavily favored for Devontae.
Oh yeah,
he is average, but Marvin Harrison do nothing in week 1.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see the same trend happen all year, where like Devontae Adams might end up with like 30 more catches.
Yeah.
But Harris is gonna have all the big plays. Like those, he's gonna have a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah. So week 1, it was 5 receptions to 1, 59 yards to 4, and then 6 targets to 3. Right. So he definitely started out like more dominant, for sure. And then week 2, I think it evened out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Adams on the year's got 14 catches to Harrison's 5, but he had that bomb week 1, so I don't know how much you count that.
So even week 2, I mean, if we're being realistic, like Devontae Adams, 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'll take that every week from any of our receivers.
Like Marvin Harrison put up 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, both. I mean, 12 targets to 8 targets, both getting good targets. The upside is swinging towards Marvin Harrison, but Devontae Adams is still producing.
I don't know. Minshew's looking pretty decent. If Minshew can keep this going, like he's doing better than I thought he'd be doing.
So I need him to continue that trend. I got Brock Bowers in my league.
The crazy thing is like Brock Bowers has like been putting up like he's tight end 1 like.
Brock Bowers.
He's getting targets and like Devontae's getting targets. So I don't know. In a way, I feel like it's helping him. Because he's just kind of taking some of that pressure off. But I'm surprised they still like getting that volume, even with Brock Bowers.
They've been in a position to throw a lot too, so it's kind of what it is.
It sucks. So
that was my next point. I was like, they don't have a run game.
I wasn't gonna be that aggressive with it, but
it sucks. That's what it is.
We'll see if he can get right this week.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I mean, he's Zamir White's very close to my shit list already, mainly because I mentioned my in like this keeper league we're in. Two of my keepers, one was Puka, he's hurt. The other one was Zamir White. He's been on my bench, so
man, hate to see it, bro. I can't do that keeper league stuff, bro. I need a reset every year. Reset for me, bro. Reset for me.
Oh, Marvin Harrison has the Lions this week. And Devontae Adams has
the Panthers. Yeah, man. It should be a good one. It should be an interesting week.
So Devontae Adams should take a lead. He should take a lead.
See, man.
But we'll see. We'll see. So there's that update. But yeah, so let's switch back. So let's get into
what week do y'all play each other? That's what I need to know.
What week?
Yeah, what week is that?
I have no idea.
I haven't gotten that far. 1 week at a time, man.
We gotta make sure we stream that
1 week at a time.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hotly contested. All right.
Yeah, well, let's hop into it, man. I mean, first topic, we talking about that Thursday night game. Lee, you want to start it off? What's your thoughts on your Jets, man?
As a Jet fan, I'm always cautiously optimistic. Kind of always waiting for something to happen, but. And I think it was the first time they really just dominated the Patriots. The first time they beat them by 3 scores since 2000. The Patriots really didn't. It was funny because like they really switched places, kind of like this is what the Jets are supposed to be, right? When everything's clicking, when everyone's in their groove, like they should dominate teams like the Patriots. That's exactly what they did. Everyone obviously knows about Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers, he looks way better. I thought it would take him a couple of weeks to get up to speed, but already he's running around, he's scrambling. He only had 18 rushing yards, which doesn't sound like a lot, but he was doing a lot of rollouts, a lot of throws on the run. He really buying extra time, especially when Moses went out, which is going to be a big loss for a couple of weeks. But with him showing the mobility, I think they're not afraid to do those rollouts. And then if they can combine that with Allen, with Brees and Allen, now you got a dynamic duo. The Jets are scary, man. I think they're better than. Obviously, people didn't want to hype them up too much because they're the Jets, but so far, I think they're they had that test in week 1, but I think it was kind of a wake up call that they needed to. They still had to get there, but I think this was a good get right game, put them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what I saw from the Jets. I'm still trying to see what's going on with Hassan Reddick. Like, I got to figure that out. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, we don't need him. We don't.
You don't need him? Listen, if you want to be contenders for real, you're going to need him.
We got Jermaine Johnson. I mean, go ahead.
I like what I saw from the Jets. I did. I actually bet under on Rodgers' yards because the Patriots defense looked good in week 2. And week 1. So I thought it would be a lower scoring game. Yeah, it's all about the parlay. But I'm happy to see that Garrett Wilson finally saw pay dirt. Like, he got into the end zone. That was on my ticket. But I know I should have went Lazard instead. But, it happened. Overall, like, they look good. So they can run the ball. I like what I saw from Braylon Allen. I like what I think Brees got injured a little bit there at one point. But in general, the Jets look good. The AFC is wide open, in my opinion. So if Rodgers is going to play at the level that he was playing on Thursday, I think they could really be in the hunt for anything in the AFC. So I do think Hassan Reddick could really benefit y'all's defense. I know it looked great on Thursday, but like you were playing the Pats. The Pats defense offense is pretty weak. I didn't think Ramondre Stevenson would have such a bad game. I know he left early as well, but he looked terrible. He didn't do anything of substance in the game, and that's really their horse. So if you guys can shut down everybody's number one option on offense, then you're going to look great as long as Rodgers keeps it close in any game. But, yeah, I like what I saw from the Jets. I'm not overly optimistic about them, but, again, the AFC is wide open in my opinion. So
yeah, I think I don't know. I take it with a grain of salt, right? I mean, I think it's I think they look good. I think Aaron Rodgers, it was nice to see him like get in there and take some hits for sure. But it is the Pats. Like, I don't think the Pats are a good team. I saw a stat where it said Ramondre Stevenson has more yards after contact than he has total yards. Which just
He's
goes to
getting
show
hit
you,
immediately.
just goes to show you like how bad like their line is. So I mean, I think you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, they talked about it in the game too, where it's just like, the Jets actually got to play their style this week because like they weren't like coming from behind or like all that. So it's like I think it was like a perfectly placed game for them because like they are still getting healthy too. It's like Mike Williams is still coming back. Like they're still getting their rapport. So I think it is like a perfectly placed game for them. But and like they could be scary, but like like we were saying, like just want to see more.
Yeah, I mean, the mark of a good team is like not just winning games they're supposed to, but like dominating those games. And like this was one of those games where where they could have like shit the bed and they could have but like they dominated that game. Like they did what they were supposed to do. You mentioned Hassan Reddick, but Will McDonald has been amazing. He's second in sacks in the league. Only Hutchinson has more by a half. He had 2 sacks, I think, last week, 3 versus the Titans. So he's really stepped it up, living up to that first round label. People weren't really sure if he was worth that first round pick, but I think he's coming around. Obviously, if Reddick was there, it'd just be like the cherry on top. But kind of like how you were saying, Clay, like if this team gets a lead with this defense and with that running game, like it's good luck coming back from that. The only real question mark was like, can Aaron Rodgers lead them to a comeback if they're down big? We haven't seen that yet, but we'll see. Yeah, so far so good.
I got 2 more things on the Jets, and then I want to address some of the comments we have on the video right now, PMC, on the live chat. One, Zerline, you got to make your field goals, man. I know it was just the one that he missed, but But it was a chip shot, bro. You got to make that. Killing me. Shout out to the Jets defense. So they got me 16 points in my fantasy league. I think that was your pick, Lee, for Jets defense. So appreciate that. And Garrett Wilson got to cut the jersey sleeves, bro. I don't know what that's about. It looks stupid. It's stopping him from greatness. I need him to know it's got to go. Okay. If he wants to be a great wide receiver in this league, that's got to go.
Okay.
I mean it.
Okay. Hot take.
I'm serious, bro.
Those sleeves are coming back. Sauce got those sleeves too.
Bro. Get them out of here.
They're not like those Peyton Manning QB sleeves. They're like normal sleeves.
Nah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like
doesn't I think Tyreek Hill has them too.
Tyreek's look better than that though.
I don't know why people are rocking them, but yeah.
Because Tyreek built. He cut up. Wilson mad scrawny for that, bro.
He's a small dude.
It just looks goofy. But we did have a couple chats in the live chat from Flip. It says PPR start one, C Steele, D Foreman, or J Reynolds. So what do you guys think?
Why do you have any of them?
That's what I was thinking.
Why do you have any of them?
Yeah, the only one I feel comfortable playing is Steele.
Yeah,
but even then, I'm not like completely sold because to be honest with you, I think Samaj Piran is going to end up being the better back. I think he's going to be the more trusted back, especially in like pass protection and things like that. Or like Steele, I guarantee 98% of people who have Steele on their team never heard of him before last week. You know what I mean? Like he's only on teams because he's on the Chiefs and they literally no one else. But you still got Edwards-Helaire coming back too. So I don't know. I don't like Foreman because I think Jerome Ford is still their starter. I think Foreman got a lot of carries last week because of game script. But at the end of the day, I think they're gonna still rock with Ford. Reynolds, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Reynolds. I don't have nothing to say there. I don't even know who they're playing this week, but
I agree. I think it's between like Steele and Foreman. I think I would go by matchup. I don't know who they're both playing, but I think Steele and Foreman, you're looking at like a kind of like a Gus Edwards stat line, like short yardage. Maybe you get lucky with like a touchdown or two, like on the goal line. So maybe you go with Steele with just like the better offense right now. I do think they'll both kind of mix in, but it's kind of, I would say matchup. Like you're looking at goal line carries. Reynolds, I don't know why he's on the team, but I think it's either Steele or Foreman.
Okay. We got one from Chewy. It says keeper leagues will change your life. I'm good on that. Y'all seem to enjoy it. I'm all the way good.
Change your life.
If you have a consistent league like 10, 12 members and you guys have been together for a couple of years, just do a keeper league. It just makes it more fun.
And then we got another one from Domo. It says was offered T. Higgins and Javonte Williams for Shaheed and Dawdle. Thoughts? So trade deadline
Shaheed
starting early.
And Dawdle?
Yeah, from the Cowboys, I believe.
Oh, T. Higgins.
If the only player
name, I don't even know. I think it's Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
Is it Dowd?
I don't know, but he's the only one. I think he's got the most upside out of those four players. Yeah. So I don't know which side he's giving up, but I would keep Shaheed and Dowdle.
He was offered. You said he was offered T.
He's offered T. Higgins and Javonte Williams. I don't care for Williams at all, really.
I would keep Dowdle. Yeah.
I'd keep Shaheed. The way he's looking right now with Carr, we'll talk about it later. But
yeah. I was high on. I was definitely high on like. I mean, it's you're trading like two people who are performing for like two people who aren't right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a hard sell. I mean, I do think T. Higgins will come back and kind of have some value. I mean, he's kind of shown that. Javonte Williams, I was definitely high on him before the season, but he hasn't done anything yet. So I would stick with the options that you have.
All right.
Yeah, I think when you're trading this earlier in the season, like I still value upside. Like it's only been 2 weeks. Like the hype on Dowdle going into the year, like was he's eventually going to take over from Zeke, and I don't think that's going to change. It's only week 2. By mid-season, I wouldn't be surprised if Dowdle is clearly the best of those 4 players.
Yeah, Shaheed's got that big playability too. It's almost I think Shaheed is almost like a Jameson Williams type.
Yeah,
you know, like he's gonna have those big weeks, and like Olave hasn't really been doing much. So
yeah, I think, and depending on your league, how the rules are set up, like do return yards count in y'all league? Like I'm not trading Shaheed if the return yards are counting. So
Yeah, got to ride the high.
Yeah, I think that T Higgins Javante side, there's not a lot of upside in that duo.
Yeah.
Like they're better now, but at the end of the year, I don't know.
should he better than Higgins right now
That's what I'm saying.
for
Yeah.
fantasy? Shoot,
Yeah.
better right now.
All right. Well, speaking of some injuries, because you mentioned like T. Higgins, we're just gonna go to these injuries, man. I mean, there's so many injuries right now. Some to name a few, like the big ones, like AJ Brown, George Kittle, McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Debo Samuels, like Jordan Love. Like it's just like, and it's only week
Yeah.
3. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people that are out right now. Um, how do you guys feel about these injuries, and like, what do you think is the most like impactful injury right now?
I mean, I think the biggest injury was Tua, obviously because it's career threatening. So we don't really know what's going on there. But not even just that. I think if he's out, it tanks the value of all those Dolphins skill players, and all those skill players were drafted really high, right? Tyreek Hill, even Waddle, Achane, even Mostert. A lot of people had Mostert as like their RB hero strategy, thinking they can like get an RB late. But now all those values get tanked so much with the Skylar Thompsons to back up now, right? So like going from Tua to Skylar is like such a huge drop off. It impacts again not just Tua's career, but just sticking to fantasy. I think obviously Tyreek Hill still Tyreek Hill, but everyone else like it just knocks them down a peg.
Yeah.
Like they're going like Waddle now. I don't know if you're confidently starting him as like a starting wide receiver with Skylar Thompson as your quarterback.
So I actually disagree on one piece there. I don't think it tanks A-Chain's value at all. I think A-Chain's going to get more touches. They're going to keep it short yardage probably with Skylar. They're going to do some halfback screens if you're in PPR. A-Chain's going to get those extra receptions that he might not have gotten if they're going to go downfield to Hill or Waddle. So I think A-Chain does get a little value bump with Tua being out. Prayers up to Tua. I mean, I'd be considering retirement, I'll be honest with you. It's too many concussions. It's too many concussions. And I saw it live. It looked crazy. It's wild that it was Hamlin that did it, but
Yeah.
that the book writes itself, I guess. As far as me, for what I think is the most significant injury, I would say Pacheco on the Chiefs. He's on IR now. We don't know if he's coming back this year at all. And the way Andy Reid was talking about, we don't know if he's going to be ready for next year, potentially. So the Chiefs, I mean, I don't believe the Chiefs believe in the Chiefs three-peat. Pacheco being out really kind of cements that for me.
Yeah.
I might be crazy. I think it's crazy to doubt the Chiefs in general based off of the last 2 years, but I don't know. I think Pacheco was a huge factor in where people were having them scaled or rated. I don't know. I'm not confident that they beat the Falcons this week. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we'll see. We're gonna need Kelsey to step up, and he's done that throughout his career. He just looks really slow right now out the gate, but Pacheco, I would say, is the biggest injury because the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Like they're going to be in the mix as far as their backup running back options. The PMC talked with me before the stream about Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt is back, man.
That's hilarious, but I don't know if he's going to make an impact or not. We'll see. But yeah, I'd say Pacheco.
Yeah, I think I think that the Chiefs one is really hard. I do think they'll have like running back by committee probably until he's back. But I think I have like a tie. I think or I guess a different take is just like I think the most significant injury is the team in the NFC West that gets healthy the slowest.
First? Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, because I think on both sides, you have the 49ers that lost Debo and Kittle right now, and the Rams who lost Kupp and Puka. So, like, that's 2 big hits to, like, contenders. Seahawks are 2-0 right now.
Yeah. And you didn't even bring up McCaffrey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, McCaffrey. I mean, of course, McCaffrey. Yeah. But it's like the Seahawks are 2-0 right now. I think the Cardinals are 1-1. So like if any of those teams can like even if they get like a divisional game, I don't know where they are in the schedule, but if they can get a divisional game or 2 and get some momentum, like it could shift like who actually comes out of that division. Where it's like I think at the start of the season, it would be fair to say that potentially 2 of those teams would come out. I mean, I think the 49ers Rams came out like the last like 2 or 3 years. But like this year, it could be, someone could be there late, 49ers have that hard schedule too. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like how both teams fare. Your boy Purdy will have to kind of actually show and prove, and earn that money, him and
Hey, man,
Ayuk. So
he got paid,
so it'll
bro.
be interesting.
It's time to get paid. It's time.
Hey, if he wants to get paid, this is it.
It's time to get paid. This is it. You got his money, Purdy. It's time to step up, bro.
Last week he was telling the Vikings coordinator like, great scheme.
Great scheme.
Couldn't figure it out. Yeah, you can't be doing that, man.
Great scheme is wild, bro. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I
don't think I've ever seen
it's great scheme.
Great scheme, man. I couldn't figure that out at all. What?
Hey.
That's crazy.
So yeah, just definitely a lot of injuries like around the league. I mean, even you can even talk about like Keenan Allen too. Like, I think the Bears are struggling because of that. Like, I know Lee, you mentioned he was going to be like the tight end or like the safety valve because I think he had like 13 targets week 1.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So it's it's tough. I mean, and even with the Eagles, like AJ Brown, like he kind of gets things going, or like he's always that guy who's going to make a play or two throughout the game. So. Yeah, it's just a lot of injuries, man. Way too many injuries to significant players early.
Yeah, hopefully your league got some IR spots because they're all getting used.
It's crazy.
It's getting crazy, man. It's getting scary.
Yeah. All right. Man, what is our third topic? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, so we got a pretender or contender. A lot of these teams, like I said, have just been what's it called? 2-0. I think there's what's it called? The Saints, the Steelers, the Bills, Texans, Chargers, Chiefs, Vikings, Bucks, and Seahawks. I guess out of those teams, like, or who's had that first 2-0 start, who do you think is the biggest threat or someone we should kind of watch out for?
To me, it's got to be the Saints right now, right? They just look really good. Like, they look dynamic on offense. They look dynamic on defense. Kamara's cooking. I mean, how many touchdowns did he have the other week? Yeah. Carr looks good. He's throwing it downfield. Shaheed's getting open. They're able to find them, beating the safeties down the field. And nobody's dying in New Orleans. It's insane. I love it. I was just out there. Listen, it's been like 20 days since anyone's been murdered out there. David Carr's praying every week. I love it, bro. It's... the vibes are immaculate. And this week they get a banged up Eagles team. So like, we'll see what they're looking like. I don't know if you got a parlay in, or if you have faith in your Eagles to win this game, but I think this is the real test for them. If they can beat the Eagles, banged up or not, if they can beat the Eagles this week, then I think they're on the map for everybody in the NFC as far as a real contender. So I got the Saints of all those teams.
Can I ask you, why is it a real test?
Because the Eagles are good. Who said the Eagles weren't good, bro? Who said that?
I'm just saying, because whatever
the Eagles,
say they're good. They're not that
good. What's the Eagles' record? Their last like 12 games going back to last season.
I just want to know, are they good or not?
That's true. That's true, man. Listen,
listen, bro. Hopping back and forth.
I don't see a topic for who had the most ridiculous loss of last week. Why didn't you bring that up? Why isn't that on the docket?
That's fine. That's that could also still be the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, to give up no touchdowns and lose, it's kind of rough, But we're the Giants. We do that. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
That's what we're supposed to do. Y'all were supposed to run the ball. That's what I know.
I'm just saying.
Y'all were supposed to run the ball.
I just want to know if they're a good team or not.
The Eagles are a good team, but they're not like. It's not they're not like. I wouldn't say they're.
I wouldn't say they're contenders.
They're a good team. I wouldn't say they're contenders.
Yeah. You got to step on the pretenders to become a contender. That's what the Saints got to do that this week.
Okay, so the Saints have to beat a middle of the road team to prove themselves. I got it. I just want to be clear.
Oh man! We got comments in the chat from Nick Quavo. It says every single team on that list is a pretender aside from Kansas City.
See that. All right, so going back to the topic, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The Bucks as a contender, because you mentioned the Saints. They're in the same division, right? So I think that division is wide open, especially with the Falcons really slacking. They're not as good as people thought they were. Kirk Cousins I think people forget he's coming back from an injury, so he doesn't look as good as all the hype was for the Falcons, right? So then you comes down to like the Saints, Bucks. Like you mentioned the Saints, we went through all of that, but to be honest, give me Baker. Give me Baker over every quarterback in that division.
Yeah.
Baker might be top 3, top 4 NFC quarterbacks, if we're being honest. Like, the NFC is not what it was. It's wide open after San Fran and Detroit. Give me Baker Mayfield. Give me Mike Evans. Give me Chris Godwin. I think that trio alone. If Baker can keep this up, and I don't see why not. He had a great year last year. They brought him back for a reason. He looks like he's finally like found himself, so to speak. Like he looks like he's back to just having fun playing football. They're trusting him. So yeah, I got the Bucks. I mean, I don't see anyone in that division really challenging him. I don't buy the Saints. I'm not really sure on their defense. We've seen Derek Carr before. Is Derek Carr really going to be the guy to take you there?
Is Baker?
Yes, Baker.
All right, man. All right, bro. Whatever.
Oh, I think I actually have two. I'm a NFC and AFC. I'm gonna say I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings.
Okay.
I think with Sam Darnold, like they can compete, and I think once they actually get healthy, when they have like Aaron Jones, Addison, Jefferson, and even Naylor, like now as like a third wide receiver, they get Hawkinson back. Like I think if they can keep this momentum up that they've kept early, and like that defense been pretty good, they could shock some people. I think they can make the playoffs for sure. And in the AFC, I'm gonna say this. I think the Steelers
Okay.
are going to be a team that's around
Hey,
late.
why wouldn't they be?
And here the reason why is I think that I don't think it will be long term in terms of like I guess next year if we're talking like they're building on something for the future, but I think this year once they firmly commit to Fields, I think that they'll start to shift their offense to kind of like complement him, and then they'll get a little bit more of their offense. Because right now they're getting nothing. Like they're getting nothing from their offense. And it's like at some point I think they will get something. I don't think that you're gonna have 2 years of just like a ridiculously like mundane offense. I think at some point it's just like, hey, they'll run the ball. Like take a book at like the Chargers playbook and just run the ball like 50 times a game with like Fields and Harris and Warren. Like you can do it, and you only have one wide receiver that you really trust. So I think they'll be around, and you got Mike Tomlin, so they're going to be at least 500.
Right. That's the one thing for the Steelers, bro. Like Tomlin's gonna get them to at least around 500. They're already 2-0.
Yeah.
They only gotta win.
Yeah, but the question was pretender or contender.
If
they're not a contender, they're a pretender.
Contender, bro.
You're saying you think the Steelers are
win a
contenders?
Super Bowl, bro.
Listen. let me ask you this, right? Last year, who made the AFC Championship game?
Chiefs and oh my god, I'm blanking.
Texans,
yeah.
So at any point in the year, like until it was the end of the year, right? Did people think that the Texans were going to be contenders?
I think middle of the year they were like, "Yo, the Texans are pretty damn good." I remember that CJ Stroud was cooking.
I mean, people were loving CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
People like CJ
loved him all year.
Stroud, but it wasn't. They didn't think the Texans were going to break through and be contenders. Like,
yeah, they were the biggest surprise.
How much faith you got in Fields right now? That's wild.
I
know you're talking about Tomlin, but this is wild.
I'm not saying I'm not like you didn't listen to what I said. I said I'm not saying I have faith in Fields. What I'm saying is I have faith in like
Tomlin.
Like I have faith in Tomlin. That defense has been amazingly good for the past 2 years, considering they've had they've had zero offense for like 2 years, and they're still in game. So I'm saying like if they actually commit to Fields and run the ball, like, and just have an offense that surrounds him, they'll get something. But it's like that's all I'm saying. And I think they can surprise people like they have been doing. Like that, and that division is like
That's the one thing I'll give you
Yeah.
right now. You got the Ravens 0-2 and the
Yeah.
Bengals 0-2 in the division.
Yeah.
So unless that turns around,
And they're
like they
2-0.
basically have to split those games, and they're good. Like as far as the division lead,
Yeah.
potentially.
So I'm saying that they can make the playoffs, potentially win a division, and then you know what I'm saying, like just win a game.
Yeah, but we've
You're
seen
talking about contenders, bro. That means you
we've
can win
seen
the
this.
Super Bowl.
We've seen this from the Steelers for like the past 5 so years or whatever, where they always overachieve. Their record is always better than the roster talent, right? So I see what you're saying, where like Tomlin is always going to have them in there, but again, it comes down to the question to me. I don't think they're contenders. Like the playoff team, are they a playoff team? Yeah, can they make the playoffs? But I don't consider them contenders. But,
I think they can make the playoffs.
And win.
Do you think they're gonna win? Do you think they can win a playoff game?
Yes.
Clearly,
On the
bro.
road?
These
On
are
the road?
contenders,
I do
bro.
Because they're gonna be a wild card.
I think
They might win the
they might
division.
win the
Hold on.
division.
They might win the division.
They
But
might
that
win the
doesn't.
division.
The point is, contender
not?
means you can see them in the AFC
Hold on,
Championship
hold on.
game.
But-
That's
but-
what you're telling us.
But let me out of their division, right? Who's gonna win their division?
I still got the Ravens.
Okay, but
I
now
do
you're
too,
saying
but-
the Ravens, right? So it's Ravens, Browns, or Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose offense has looked the best?
None
You-
of them.
you
have
get-
I want to say
You
it's
get
still
what
the
I'm saying?
Ravens. I want to
It's
say
not,
it's
it's
still the
not the
Ravens.
Steelers. It's not
I
the
wanna
Steelers.
say it's
though,
still
but
the
yeah.
Ravens.
You get what I'm
though,
saying?
for their offense.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a good situation. Like it's a perfect situation for them to beat. Like they're literally in the worst offense division.
Yo, but PMC winning the division and being contenders are two very different things.
No, but-
contenders means you can put up a fight in the AFC Championship game and
Bro.
potentially go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what contender means.
Okay, but how many teams do you realistically think are considered contenders?
In the AFC,
Just in general. How many like
Probably like 5. Probably like 5 true contenders. It's probably
Okay, so
it's
if that's the criteria, I won't say that they'll be top 5, but I think because how many teams make the playoffs? I mean, it's what? How many teams make the playoffs?
was it 7?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Seven,
I'm saying 7
right?
per. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in that 14, I think they'll be in the middle. Like I think they'll be 7 or 8. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're top 5, but I'm saying like
I respect
I'm
it.
not
Yeah.
saying it's gonna look pretty. I'm just saying that I think that they can win the division. I think the Steelers will be good enough to win a playoff game, and if they get some type of momentum, people will start talking about it. I think they just have to lean into Justin Fields.
I will say this though, because we both said we believe that the Ravens will pull it, right? The Ravens got Cowboys today. They got the Bills next week. They got the Bengals the week after that. They got Commanders, whatever.
The-
Bucks, who you just said are your contenders and then Browns. Like it's not easy.
It's not easy, but I still think the Ravens, we haven't seen the real Ravens yet. They're still trying to figure out that offense. They got a ton of criticism this week, pointing out like how textbook their offense is. Like it's so easy to read. If Derrick Henry's in there, it's a run 99% of the time. If he's not in there, it's a pass 99% of the time. Yeah. But toward the end of the game last week, you started seeing them switch it up. You started seeing them actually pass it with Derrick Henry and actually run it with Justice Hill a little bit. I think once they realize, or once they try to disguise it a little bit, they'll find their groove. Mark Andrews hasn't really been involved yet either, so I still think the Ravens have the potential. But yeah, and then also really quick on the chat, Colorado is definitely overrated as hell. We were talking about that before the stream started. Just wanted to say that Colorado is overrated as hell.
He said the Buffs could beat the Giants right now. That's insane, bro.
That's wild. They would
That's
get
insane.
killed.
They'd get killed, bro.
They get killed.
I think Travis Hunter might get a pick though.
Travis Hunter and
You might
Shedeur
get a
Sanders
pick,
are
though.
they're both top 5, but the team, yeah.
Like they almost lost to Baylor. Like
we got Alex in the chat that said he's a Steelers fan. He says committing to Fields is hilarious.
I think I am a big Fields. I'm still a proponent of Fields. Like they haven't let him throw it. Like you see his throw chart, he literally hasn't thrown one pass.
He hasn't thrown anything over the middle. It's crazy.
But I don't know if anyone saw it. He had a play versus Pickens that got called back last week.
Yeah, I did
he
see
was
that.
rolling out and he literally flicked his wrist and it went like 40-50 yards.
Yeah.
Dot like perfect throw on the run. And it was Aaron Rodgers-esque. And I'm like, look what this guy can do, but they're so concerned. They gotta unleash Field. Let him throw some picks. Let him throw some picks. Just let him throw.
Or just give him some designed run. Like just you know what I'm saying? Like just make the offense like Fields friendly. You know what I mean? Like that's all it has to be. Like but you have to commit to him or it's like the back and forth between like Russell Wilson, like that's not gonna get it done. But if he wins this week, it's 3-0, man.
We got another question in the chat. How about the Eagles pretender, contender, or overspender? I like that last one.
Overspender.
I like that one.
Listen,
the Eagles are tough. The Eagles are so hard to. Go ahead.
I've said it. I think the Eagles are contenders. I think once they get the perfect mesh between like Kellen Moore and like Sirianni in terms of like overthinking and making like these complicated like plays and just like doing what works, then cool. Like I think they'll have the perfect thing. Again, last year they started 10-1 and like everybody looks at like the back half of the year. So it's like the potential is there, like the team improved. So it's just like I wouldn't be worried like as a fan. Like I don't need them to replicate that to sign off on them.
And the thing with the Eagles, it always comes down to the defense for me. Like as good as that offense is, that's how bad their defense is. You know what I mean? Like I think they're like 7th worst or something like that in yards given up. Granted, it's only been 2 weeks, but if you go back to the back half of last year, it's like that secondary was like bottom 5 in the league. I don't think it's getting any better. They're gonna have to outscore the guys like 40-30 to win. I mean, they have all the talent on offense, but again, without the defense, I think they're missing Reddick too. They don't really have a pass rush this year.
Sure.
Huff hasn't really lived up to the contract yet. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to defense. You need more than offense, and I don't trust that defense at all.
Plus, we're still trying to figure out if Jalen Hurts is top 10 or not. So
I have strong feelings.
Inside joke.
Yeah. But I will say I do think it does come down to defense. But I think the Eagles haven't like gotten leads either. And like in the past, it's like that's kind of fueled.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
Oh, they get the lead. Now they can unleash like the pass rush. Now the secondary looks better because the pass rush is getting to the quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think they'll get better. I don't think their defense is going to be as good as it has been in like the few years past. But like I said, I think game structures like it'll make it better. Like I said, they're a play away or catch away from being 2-0. But it's like I think
a runaway.
Yeah,
but like
I also think it's just like I'm fine with the narrative, like, but I think anytime they lose now because of how they lost last year is going to be like, oh, the Eagles aren't that good. Oh, we got to panic. Like it's just overhyped everything.
But is it overhyped though? Like
it's a lot of weeks in a row.
It's not a 4-week sample. It's not a 6-week sample. It's like half a year and then the first 2 games here. But like, when's the last time a team made the Super Bowl with a bottom 10 defense?
Right, but they didn't play bad. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I'm not saying our defense is great, but I'm just saying like they didn't play bad. Like again, we beat the Packers, but like we didn't get any credit for that, even though the Packers are supposed to be one of the top teams, Super Bowl contenders, but we didn't get, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't get credit for that.
Listen,
like we lost last week without AJ Brown. Like, so it's like,
UFC, man.
I'm fine.
We get it. You love your team. No, we get it.
I'm just saying like, you have to take into consideration like all these other things. Like,
so we're taking into consideration how y'all have looked over the course of the last 15 games, and we're taking into consideration that y'all can't figure out how to run the damn ball with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, and the other team has no timeouts, bro.
But that's what
we got to take all consideration.
And that's exactly what I started off by saying. Sirianni and Kellen Moore. Sirianni runs that ball, and then if we don't get it, he does a tush push on 4th and 1. That's like how we used to play. Mm-hmm. Kellen Moore wants to like overthink you and like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. Like that's literally the difference.
We also take into account that Barkley probably not making it through the season, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. He gonna miss some time. It's gonna happen. No shade on the man. It's just I'm used to it.
Yeah, they got to start like conserving Barkley a little bit toward the end of the year. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
We'll see, man.
Like I said, I just think there's always a lot of different narratives, man. Always a lot of different narratives, man. I mean, what has Miles
But
Sanders and Swift done since they left the Eagles, man? But
hey, man,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but
get
it's not
Jason
Hurts, it's not
Kelsey.
them, it's not
Bring
anybody.
Jason Kelsey back, and I'll start believing in the Eagles again. How about that?
Hey, man, he's there every week, man. He might as well.
He's there every week, bro. He in shape.
He's
He in
there
shape,
every
bro.
week. But all right.
I'm done talking about the Eagles. What's next?
Hey. We gotta go to we're going to sit and start. I know we're getting a lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
chat, but let's head over to sit and start.
Don't worry about chat, bro.
All right, man. We got sit or start. First person up is Zach. What is it? Charbonnet. Against the Dolphins. So I'm gonna start with you, Lee. Sit or start.
I'm sitting them. I just got to see it from Charbonnet. I feel like the Dolphins. I feel like it's gonna be a low scoring game. So I'm not really in on anyone in that game. Outside of like Tariq Hill. But as far as like Charbonnet, I think he's one of those that's like he's got talent, but for me, I have to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Fair.
I'd start him. Why not, man? You probably need to.
All
If
right.
you're in a situation where Zach Charbonnet is like on your docket, it's probably because you got some injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true
So
too. Yeah.
in general, I'd start him. Like the Dolphins don't have an elite defense, at least not an elite running defense, and you're probably going to have a lot of time possession because I don't see them moving the ball down the field with Skylar Thompson as their quarterback.
That's fair.
So I give him a start in my flex maybe just to see what's up. Again, if you're down to these options, odds are one of those big names we talked about earlier just isn't playing for you, and you're reaching. So you're gonna have to.
Yeah. I'm gonna start him. I don't like it. He didn't really play well last week. I don't think he's gonna play particularly well this week, but I think that the game will be in their favor and they'll just run the ball a lot. So he'll get stats just because of volume. I think maybe he'll get another touchdown, goal line carry, but yeah, I'll start him. I don't like it though.
It's one of those. I started him. Hopefully, he gets a touchdown or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the good things are he should get volume, and like you said, the Dolphins' defense isn't anything crazy, but it might be one of those where he gets like 15 touches and like 40 yards, maybe a touchdown if he's lucky. But it's like you're praying for it. You're not expecting it. You're praying for it.
Yeah. All right. Next is we got Amari Cooper. So Amari Cooper against the Giants. So sit or start, Amari Cooper.
Start everybody versus the Giants.
I was about to say it.
Start them all, man. Start them all. No, but seriously, like the Browns haven't looked great, so I get it. Like the reservations on potentially even starting Cooper. He's given like career lows in the last 2 fantasy weeks. But the Giants are the get right game right now, where our secondary isn't elite. I know we have Deontay Banks, but who knows? You can have Cooper travel or whatever. It's hard for the Giants to move the ball down the field. I know we looked better last week versus the Commanders, but the Browns have a much better defense than the Commanders do. There might be a turnover there. You're going to get extra possessions potentially for Cooper. And the Browns, like I said, it's the get right week. So I'm starting Cooper. If you're benching Cooper, then your team is probably stacked. Like if you're benching Cooper versus the Giants. So I'm starting him. And if he doesn't perform this week, then you can start talking about I need to go the other directions. But right now, this is the week you got to start him. I think he does something.
Yeah, I'm still starting him. I'm not overreacting over the first 2 weeks. So I just looked it up right now. Week 2, he only had 2 catches. I mean, week 1, he had 2 catches. Week 2, he had 3 catches. So he's only got 5 catches on the year. But if you look at his targets, He's still got 17 targets through 2 games. Week 1, he had 9 targets. Week 2, he had 8 targets. So he's getting thrown the ball still. He's just not converting. And I think a lot of that has to do with Deshaun Watson. But obviously, again, he mentioned that he's playing the Giants. It's a good matchup all across the board. If you're playing anyone versus the Giants or Panthers, I'll probably play him. But I think this is one of those get right, squeaky wheel kind of games where the Browns know they need to get Amari Cooper involved. Deshaun Watson knows he needs to get Amari Cooper involved. So the targets are still there. I wouldn't be surprised if we get double digits targets today to try to get him going. So yeah, I'm playing him. He's got he's one of those that's got a track record. He's done it before. He's got a good matchup. I'm not overreacting over 2 weeks. At the end of the day, he's going to get his numbers. And I think, again, this is a great get-right game versus a terrible Giants defense.
We're not terrible. We just average.
Nah, you're trash.
It's the offense that's trash.
I'm
defense side.
That's
what I'm talking about.
I actually think the Giants win this game.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's a bold take. Okay.
I think this starts the Deshaun Watson out of Cleveland campaign.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I don't know. He hasn't looked good. I don't think they have a run game. Maybe that's the most significant injury that we didn't talk about is like Chubb. But like they got Foreman. They obviously don't believe in like Ford. So they just haven't looked good. And like I think Jerry Jeudy has looked the best out of all the wide receivers so far, even though Amari Cooper is getting the targets. And I don't know what the quality of those targets is for Amari Cooper, but from what I've seen, it hasn't been great. So I'm going to sit him. Like I said, I think the Giants win this game. I think soon they'll start, what's it called, Dorian Thomas Robinson or whatever his name is, like get him in there. But I don't think it's looking good for the Browns right now.
Hey, hot take. I'm with it, though. I'm with it. I love it. I'd love it. I mean, I don't love it for my parlay coming up, but I'd love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Need that. Need some energy, bro. Giants were one catch away from leading the NFC East, bro. Low-key.
Oh, my God.
It's true, though. It's true. NFC East is whack, but...
NFC East is trash this year, but yeah.
It's true.
It's crazy. All right, next we got JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba against Miami again. So sit or start.
Bro, he cooked last week, and he was on my bench, so I'm not doing that again. I'm starting him. Although he probably won't replicate that performance, but like I said, if I'm starting Charbonnet, I got to start Jackson Smith and Jigba after last week, right? So I actually started Wandale over him. Wandale did score, but Jackson Smith had the best game of his career. It's Wandale, bro.
Wandale.
Terrible. Fortunately, it didn't affect my win total last week or what I was able to do, but I'm starting them. I feel like, again, you're going to have probably more possessions than you normally would versus the Dolphins this week, unless they really, really grind with A-Chain and convert third downs, which I don't know. I just don't believe in Skylar Thompson. So Geno looks good so far this year. So, yeah, I'm starting them.
Yeah, I'm starting him too. DK kind of blew up last week, had a crazy week. The Dolphins, I don't think their defense is nothing crazy. I think they're going to see a lot of focus on DK. It's going to open it up for what's his name, JSN. So yeah, I'll take JSN.
Shane in the chat says that was an insanity game for JSN. Sit him. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think just because of what I said before, I think they win this game pretty easily. I think maybe it gets spread out. Maybe it's DK's day. Like I said, Charbonnet will get a goal line carry here or there. So I think the Seahawks win. I think it's just going to be very spread. So I could see him having a good game, but I also could see this be. What'd you say?
I was gonna say he's not. Sorry, I just saw your screen. He's not. He's definitely not getting 16 targets again.
Yeah,
so that's
16 is wild.
That's fair. Yeah, he's not getting 16 targets.
He's not getting 16 targets, but I like what I've seen. I think he's starting to ascend, but I'm just I can't.
He's one of those I like in real life more than fantasy.
Yeah.
Like obviously he's talented. I like him as a real receiver, but I don't know about fantasy.
And
But for this
also,
week, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of injuries too. So,
but also Seahawks would be 3-0. So like I said, that
AFC,
division,
NFC West, bro.
it's gonna be crazy.
You just don't want to see the Niners. It's okay. I'm kidding. Man.
Hey,
that should have been a question. Are the Niners pretenders or contenders?
They just too hurt right now, bro.
Niners suck, man.
Oh my god,
Niners suck.
he's such a hater.
Niners suck, man. We beat the Niners, so I'm not a hater.
Mhm.
All right, next we got Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed at Tennessee.
No, I'm kidding. I know what Jaden Reed is.
Jaden Reed.
I'm just gonna go bench. I have no analysis other than I'm not playing him.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'll give some minor.
I don't like Malik Willis. Malik Willis is starting, right? I don't trust him to support anyone.
Okay.
There's got to be.
That was on the Eagles. You know what I mean? Everybody just on the Eagles, low key. But yeah, I'd sit him. Oh, did we crash?
Yeah, I think we're back.
We back? Oh, cool.
Is it back?
It's loading. Yeah, I think it's back. It's just 2 p.m. right now.
But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest, like the first thing I always look at for wide receivers is not receptions, not yards. It's always targets, right? Because like, is it a fluke that they did this, or are they actually in the game plan? And just looking at those targets right now, 6 targets and then 2 targets. So he's clearly not a focal point of the offense, but he's gonna have those random big games. But do you really think? Again, it goes back to the quarterback. Do you trust those big games with Malik Willis? I don't see it likely to happen. So to me, I think that week 1 was indicative of like a fluke, so to speak, because again, the targets aren't there. So it's hard to trust someone who's not getting looks.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like after week 1, he was leading the league, and like now, like he just pretty much did nothing. I think he'll be better than last week. But I don't know. I think I'm going to bench him too. Like you said, I don't trust Malik Willis. I think you can't really trust anyone on the Packers, like even with Jordan Love. So it's just, I don't know. We're still trying to figure out like that wide receiver room and like who's won and who fits where. So I bench him too.
He about to score, bro. Just to shit on us.
He about to have 2 touchdowns.
He might.
3 catches, 2 touchdowns.
But you can't bank on that with him, bro. He's so up and down.
He would, but it'd be like, yo, he had 2 catches for 20 yards and like 2 rushes for like 40 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a last minute dart flex, like, oh, you got injuries, someone's out today, and you just need like a home run guy. Again, he's not a bad pick because he might get that home run, but I don't like relying on it. You know.
Actually, wait. I'm
switching up.
I'm
switching up. Switch up is crazy
because I just realized they're playing Tennessee.
They are playing Tennessee.
Willis is trying to get his lick back.
Oh
yeah, revenge game.
Oh, revenge game.
It's a revenge game.
Malik Willis revenge game.
Yeah,
okay,
he's gonna perform. Hopefully that's good for Jaden Reed.
He really swapped the graphic too.
We're swapping because I'm all in on Malik Willis. I'm putting him on the ticket. He better be on the parlay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, revenge game for him this week for sure.
Okay, I hope so, man. I don't believe in Malik Willis at all, but sure. I hope so, bro.
All right, next up, Brian Robinson Jr. against at Cincinnati. So sit or start.
Starting him. I'm starting B-Rob in any league, bro. He nice, low key, and he's getting more targets in the passing game that I thought would start going to Eckler. Okay. They're still just going to Brian Robinson. So. He's featured. He's almost their every down back at this point. Like I barely see Eckler in at all, and he's getting the bulk of the carries. You know, they are starting to run with Daniels at the goal line, which is cool, but they still hand it off typically for to B-Rob to start those goal line drives. They just haven't found pay dirt really.
Yeah.
So I like Brian Robinson. I feel like he's a quality flex in any league. So he's the number one running back on the team, and he's going to get a couple of receptions.
Yeah, I'm big on Brian Robinson. I really like him, especially with Jaden Daniels. I feel like it's really opening things up for him. The Commanders don't really have any passing game. Like you mentioned, Eckler hasn't really been involved as much as maybe people thought. But if you look at their receiving yards, I think he's leading the team in receiving yards still with only like 7 targets. But again, it goes back to the targets. I think he's got the same amount of targets as Brian Robinson. So Brian Robinson's still, it's not like a one-dimensional, he's running, he's passing kind of thing. They're using him like all 3 downs when they can. And again, the Bengals aren't really a good defense. I think they're seventh worst in the league against the run. So they can be run on. And those are one of the teams where like you try to keep Burrow off the field with, time possession, things like that. So I definitely think Brian Robinson is going to be a feature today. So I'm starting him.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit. I'm gonna start him. I think the way that they're running their offense right now is similar to how I think the Steelers should run their offense. But yeah, I think Brian Robinson is he's been solid. I think he's starting to kind of catch his groove too. And I think they do have a good balance. So yeah, I'm gonna start him.
Yeah, I would start him every week, to be honest with you. Unless you're stacked. Unless you're stacked, I'm playing Robinson.
Put it this way, I got Connor and A-Chain, but he's still going to start in my flex. So
yeah, I got Robinson and Connor like similar levels where they're like, I wouldn't be concerned starting either of them like as my RB2, or if they're my flex, I'm stoked if they're my flex. That's top tier.
Cool. 2 more. We got Jerome Ford against the Giants again.
Start. My only hesitancy is with Foreman, because it could be a similar game script where they get up like 2 scores early, 3 scores early, and then he just doesn't play the second half. Like that's how I think this game might go. As bad as the Browns' offense has looked, their defense is still there. Like this was the number 1 defense last year. They haven't looked terrible the first 2 games, but again, I don't want to overreact over 2 games. But most of the defense from last year is still back. I don't see the Giants really doing anything against the Browns' defense. So talent-wise, like I'm playing Ford because he's their starter to play in a bad team. But I would just be slightly concerned with Foreman because even last week, I think Foreman got way more carries than anyone ever expected.
Yeah.
Bring the chair out, man. I don't care. I don't care what you're talking about, Lee. The Giants have a good run defense, low key. They do. All right, Dexter Lawrence is him. Thibodeau is him. All right, and I don't know if Brian Burns is playing. I mean, he's more sack a quarterback, but he can play. All right, it's up. Jerome Ford not going to do much. He's not a huge pass catcher in general. Well, I mean, he did get a bunch of targets week 1, but still, I'm sitting him, bro. It's going to be a lower scoring game than you think, and he's not going to hit that end zone.
Can I just counter that really quick before you jump in, Clay? So the Giants are trash. They've given up 24 rushing touchdowns this year. That's the second most in the league,
bro.
And they've given up the 4th most rushing yards allowed. So even if Foreman comes in and steals half of the workload, I think the Giants are still prone to giving up a ton of rushing touchdowns. Like if they get into the 10-yard line, they're not even going to. Why would the Browns even risk throwing it? They're just going to hand it off 3 times. Bam, bam, bam. And again, Giants are giving up the 2nd most touchdowns. Only team that's given up more touchdowns on the ground is Carolina, and they've given up 1 more than the Giants. So I don't know. Yeah. That's what the stats say.
No touchdowns last week.
I don't like Jerome Ford, but I'm gonna start him this week.
Haters.
I like I said, I think Giants win the game, but I think he has a similar stat line to like week 1, like maybe plus or minus the touchdown. Yeah, I think they'll be behind. I think Deshaun Watson is gonna check down to him a lot, and he'll just get stats that way in the PPR. But I don't really like him, but I'm gonna start him.
Yeah, I'm playing anyone versus the Giants.
Sure.
It's as easy as that.
Sure.
We're playing the Giants.
Man. Giants up, man.
All right. And last one we got is Zamir White against the Carolina. Sarah, start.
So the way Lee feels about the Giants, that's how I feel about the Panthers. The Panthers suck. So I'll play Zamir White. Although I do think they're going to air it out more. I see Bowers getting a lot of touches. I see Adams having a big game. But Zamir White probably find the end zone. So I'll start him.
This is like trash versus trash.
Don't let your feelings affect it.
I don't know.
Lee.
It's like this is a hard one to pick because it's like he's playing a really bad team. You would think he's going to get the volume, but Zamir White's always been a volume play. Like no one's saying he's Saquon Barkley with the ball, but he's their starting running back. He should get all the volume. So I would start him. I'm gonna guess you. If you have him as a starting RB2, then I'm benching him. But as a flex, you could do worse with him as a flex.
This is one of those. This is the week, right?
Yeah, this is the week. He's gonna get 15 touches versus probably the worst defense in the league. Hopefully, he does something. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bench him because he's trash.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
We lose PMC again. Are we back?
I'm back.
No, he's back. Oh, I think he's frozen though.
No, I'm not frozen.
Oh no, now you're good.
Yeah,
Did Merlin draft Zamir White in y'all league?
I think so. I think so.
Wait, what was the question?
I think my brother drafted Zamir White in one of the leagues.
He's trash, man. Zamir White's trash. But yeah, I think he heard me and he tried to shut down the stream, but we're almost done. So Sebastian, you ready for your parlay?
Yeah.
Connection now.
Let me know when I gotta rock.
Is it good? Are we good?
It's on Lee. Sebastian, we got you. You're good to go.
You can hear me? All right, cool. So parlay of the day, you know what I try to do, 10 legs to get you with $10 to try to get y'all some bread, man. And today I got Malik Neighbors, 5 receptions. I think the Giants will go to him pretty often. I'm going to feature that game pretty heavily in this parlay. The Giants, he's their offense, right? They have to go to him to basically do anything. And I think they're going to consistently go to Malik Neighbors. I got Amari Cooper for 40 yards. It's not a huge mark, but he hasn't really hit 40 yards this year. I think it's time. So it's that time to do that. Kayvon Thibodeau to get a sack. Thibodeau's due, man. He's going to get one. Deshaun Watson, for whatever reason, can't feel pressure in the pocket. So I think Thibodeau to get a sack is a good line. And then Myles Garrett to record a sack. It was like minus like 1 something. So it'll happen. The Giants' offensive line is trash, and Myles Garrett is good, even though he is nursing 2 minor injuries to his feet. Moving on to the Saints-Eagles game, I got Barkley to get 25 yards receiving. So obviously, Barkley's always going to be a pass-catching back. He's got to break one, really, get a first down, 1 or 2 first downs, you should be fine. Derek Carr to get 200 yards passing. Essentially, I just don't believe in the Eagles' secondary. It's weak. It's been weak. It's going to continue to be weak. And I really just need like one big play from Rashid Shaheed, and you're good. And then I got Chargers money line over the Steelers. I know we got a whole lot of love for the Steelers from PMC. I ain't seen it yet. I like what I've seen from Herbert. I like what I see from Harbaugh and J.K. Dobbins, man. Anyway, moving on, we got the Bears money line versus the Colts. I know the Bears did not look great last week, but at plus 108 versus the Colts, I just don't think the Colts are that good. And Michael Pittman's apparently nursing some injuries, so we'll see. I think it's going to be showtime for the Bears. It's time to put up or shut up for Caleb Williams on his Rookie of the Year bid. And then Travis Kelce to get 4+ receptions. So I need him to get 4. It's not a crazy line, but it was only minus 275. I kind of wanted to go a little higher. With Pacheco out, I think they are going to lean more heavily on Kelce to start doing some things. And then that Monday night game, I typically go with the underdog just to see if I can get to that parlay and get to that cash out. But I just want Bengals money line just because I do see the Bengals winning that game versus the Commanders at home. It's put up or shut up time for them as well. They're 0-2, can't lose this game versus the Commanders on primetime. So I believe in Burrow. I believe in Chase. They got to win that. So if I get to that point, should be money. But yeah, that's plus, what is that? 13,126 to win $1,312.68. So tail that if you want, but yeah, parlay of the day.
Cool.
What's hitting, bro? Talk to me.
I liked all those prop bets. The only thing I didn't like was the Bengals.
Bengals money line?
Yeah, I like the pick, but I don't like those odds. Like
the odds are weak. I was wanting to go with a different.
I would have just took the points. Yeah,
but
I would have taken the Giants.
I would have boosted my parlay something crazy.
Yeah,
but I try to go away from money lines this week. Just a couple on there, and I believe in Caleb. I believe in Herbert. So we'll see. I need Kelce to step up, man. Damn, that's it.
I feel like this is everyone's waiting for that week for Kelce.
This is it.
This might be it.
It has to be, bro. If it ain't now, then it's never, bro. So
yeah,
I blame Taylor.
Yeah, you got that stupid haircut now.
Man.
Come on, bro.
But yeah, so that's our show for this week. Any last words from y'all?
Set your lineups, y'all. Set your lineup.
That is a good one. Set your lineup.
That's a good one. Set your lineups. Yeah.
Make sure you have a kicker line. You know what I'm saying? Make sure he didn't, tear his prior to the game like Gano did somehow. So just make sure y'all good.
Yeah, man. Hopefully there's no major injuries this week. That's all I'm praying for. It's been crazy. So we'll see.
Cool. All right. Well, like always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week.